Louisiana, North Carolina, Arkansas, Alabama, Utah, New Hampshire, Indiana, and Ohio. Now, all of these are examples of states that have tried to rein in state Medicaid funding. In other words, just the amount of Medicaid monies they get to stop funding Planned Parenthood.
Republicans are demanding the end of federal money for family planning and health clinics.
Planned Parenthood is a non-profit organization founded in 1901 by Margaret Sanger. She, her sister, and a friend were arrested for violating the Comstock Act after founding the organization. Although their convictions weren't overturned, the judge decided to modify the law to permit physician-prescribed birth control. To this day, debate over the Planned Parenthood and the birth control have continued to grow, and now the government is trying to cut the funding from a non-profit organization that is dedicated to helping people and saving lives.
These are the doors to Planned Parenthood. They're just doors, really. But what makes these doors different is the fundamental misunderstanding about what goes on behind them. But here's the thing, what we do isn't a secret. It's quality healthcare for women, men, and young people.
I know Planned Parenthood, it provides healthcare for lower income families and makes it more accessible to them. Another great controversy surrounding Planned Parenthood is that they do abortions. But what people fail to realize is that they don't singularly do abortions. They do many other things for both men and women. They do cancer screenings, they do STD cures. Abortion might be the controversial aspect about Planned Parenthood, but it's important to not undermine the other efforts that they do.
Contrary to popular belief, Planned Parenthood does not only provide abortions and pro-choice options, they instead focus on providing women's health resources and education, and they even prescribe birth control and administer flu shots. The organization was not founded around the idea of abortion. It was founded to aid women's health and provide safe places for its practice. Nowadays, you can get cancer screenings and STD testing, smoking cessation counseling, and so much more when Planned Parenthood is able to provide at its fullest. The defunding of Planned Parenthood would not only hurt women that need abortions, it would hurt everyone that is being left out by the CHC or have no access to it.
Planned Parenthood is most definitely helpful. Although abortion might be controversial, I like the fact that they're at least offering people an option. If Planned Parenthood didn't exist, they might get it from unprofessional people, and who knows what could happen in that process. I also like the fact that they usually go to places where maybe other health centers might not be available to.
By stripping away funding to these clinics, conservative lawmakers are taking away necessary medical help that can be used by an extensive number of people, far beyond those with unwanted pregnancies. Planned Parenthood helps to control STI and STD infection rates by offering counseling and information about the various diseases, as well as access to STD testing, preventative treatments, and curative medical care. Men and women alike can receive birth control either over the counter or prescription. Women can also receive IUD implants and checkups as well.
I like that they aren't singularly for women. They're for men too. For example, they do flu shots, they do STD screenings. They can help single parents manage their families better. And while they're at it, they don't judge you. They support you.
One of the most devastating consequences of defunding Planned Parenthood would be its effects on the people who can't afford other medical treatments. CHC has already failed to provide everyone with healthcare, and with Planned Parenthood gone, things can only get worse for the less wealthy people. Decreasing the number of healthcare providers that are usually located in neighborhoods with less income keeps people from getting their desperately needed healthcare. A 2016 report states that the CHC has failed to help 62 million people with primary healthcare needs. CHC also does not have the same amount of reproductive healthcare systems as Planned Parenthood. CHC also requires more budget to operate in order to help their own existing patients. so it would be much harder for them to help the millions of people who would switch from Planned Parenthood without getting more money than what is being cut from Planned Parenthood's funding.
I think an organization that helps people and saves lives shouldn't be punished because of abortions. Taking this government money, it only hurts people. I researched into this and I read that they can't spend government money on abortions. They have to rely on donations for that. So I don't think it's justifiable to defund an organization that helped maybe more than other organizations do.
A study done in Texas illustrates that the funding cuts had severe impacts on these issues. There were major increases in travel time and costs for travel without the normally easily accessible Planned Parenthood clinics. There were also drops in the use of contraceptives as well as the scheduling times and effectiveness of the contraceptives, but the most critical effect was that no major healthcare providers came to these locations to replace the Planned Parenthood clinics. The support for Planned Parenthood does not only come from women who have been affected by it. The majority of the people who support Planned Parenthood support it not because they have used their services, but rather because they know that there are people who are in dire need of help. The pro-choice movement has been the largest supporter of Planned Parenthood so far. The most prevalent issues the pro-choice movement is fighting for is the rights and freedom of if, when, how, or with who to start a family with. The 4 big points of the movement is the fight for legal abortion access, birth control, paid family leave, and the fight against pregnancy discrimination. They have held demonstrations and protests as well as donations to Planned Parenthood to help keep it running.
I personally haven't been affected by the organization, but I know people who have. And I know funding cuts are definitely not the route to go about it. The main reason I started supporting Planned Parenthood in the first place is because I saw a woman share her story with Planned Parenthood. And that video definitely had an emotional impact on me. I don't think more people deserve to go through the same adversities that she had to go through.
I found out I was pregnant and it was not planned. My boyfriend and I were in a very new relationship. The most pragmatic option was to get an abortion. And I honestly was very conflicted. And I remember going in and I was still very torn about it. And when I went in to see the actual physician, I was still a wreck. She took a look at me and said, "Something tells me that today is not the day. Go home, take a night's sleep on it, and then reschedule." I'm so glad that I went to Planned Parenthood that day. I wish I knew her name so that I could thank her, not just for the role that she played in making me a mother, but for doing what she does, and women like her, just so that I can have a choice. If I had gone through some underground network to get some back alley abortion, not only would my son not be here, but I might not either. Words really can't express the amount of gratitude I have towards this woman.
Along with support, there is also a lot of resistance to Planned Parenthood in the form of the pro-life movement. Their biggest arguments are that women don't actually benefit from abortion, claiming that abortion is just senseless killing of innocent babies, and getting rid of Planned Parenthood will be getting rid of abortion. The truth is that abortion starts with an idea that life pushes you into, and Planned Parenthood is just an organization that tries to help people who have taken this decision for themselves. Getting rid of Planned Parenthood would not stop abortions. Desperate women would still get unprofessional and unassisted abortions without the care of a doctor, possibly resulting in the death of both the baby and the mother. The movement also does not take into account that Planned Parenthood does more than just abortions. Without Planned Parenthood, not only safe abortions, but also a big portion of free healthcare for all people would be gone. One other argument proposed by the pro-life movement is that people don't want to pay taxes for an organization they do not support or want to exist. If you make between $50,000 and $100,000 yearly, you will only pay $15.51 in taxes to the organization. And if you make more than $250,000, it is roughly around $420 in taxes. The movement also does not consider the fact that forcing childbirth could lead to ruined childhoods for these children. Being born to a single distressed or economically unstable parent can severely damage a child's life along with the family's.
I don't know where I'm gonna go.
That is why Planned Parenthood exists, to give people a chance to help save their lives. Defunding an organization that is dedicated to helping people doesn't do any good to anybody. Planned Parenthood doesn't exist as a catalyst for abortions. It exists to help people who made their own decisions in a safe manner. And that is only a small portion of what they help people with. An organization that helps save lives in more than one way and gives people an opportunity should be protected and not destroyed.
I've informed people in my school and in my neighborhood about how they can help Planned Parenthood. I sent a message to the Trump administration defending Planned Parenthood, and I know anyone can do the same thing. It's inarguable that Planned Parenthood has helped a lot of people, not just women. And it should be our goal to help an organization that helps us.
You can give back to Planned Parenthood in many ways. To provide a donation in support of Planned Parenthood's cumulative efforts, visit their website or call 800-430-4907. You can also help by volunteering and working with local Planned Parenthood clinics in your area, or by writing to your local city politician and letting them know your opinions on the matter.